yapay zekanın kabulünü benimsemek için ekosistemden yararlanmak konusu. GE Healthcare Pazarlamadan Sorumlu Başkanı Kurumsal Dijital Çözümler Simon Rost bize bağlanacak online olarak. Kendisi hakkında kısaca bilgi vermek istiyorum. ECCP Europe'dan uluslararası pazarlama ve iletişim alanında yüksek lisans derecesi aldı. GE Healthcare'de son 10 yılda tıbbi cihazlar, sağlık bilişimi, danışmanlığı ve hizmetleri dahil olmak üzere tüm sağlık hizmeti portföyünü bir araya getiren çözümlere odaklanarak büyüme programlarını yöneten, çeşitli ticari ve pazarlama liderliği pozisyonlarında bulundu. Halen GE Healthcare'in Avrupa, Orta Doğu ve Afrika'daki dijital sağlık ve yapay zeka portföyünün pazarlama organizasyonuna liderlik eden pazarlama direktörü. Hi Mr. Rost, hi Simon.
Hello guys, thanks for having me, I'm Rost. I'm going to speak in the next 20 minutes about a topic that's very close to my heart, which is digital transformation in healthcare. I believe we are at a tipping point at this point in time, and I want to share with you the journey that we went through in the last few years, leveraging the entire digital health ecosystem to drive the adoption of artificial intelligence, which is likely the technology that will most disrupt our sector going forward. Let me start with some pure facts about the healthcare sector. Today, more than 3.8 billion people lack access to basic healthcare services. If you think about that, that's roughly half of the world's population that don't get the care that they need or the treatment that they need. On top of that, more than 20% of the expenditure in healthcare is wasteful. That's the result of a recent OECD study. Meaning, if I invest 100 euros into my health, basically, 20 of this has no impact. The third fact is that quality across healthcare, doesn't matter where in the world, basically is not at the level where it should be. Today, the third reason for that basically our sector are medical errors. On top of that, the World Health Organization predicts a shortage of roughly 18 million people by 2030. I personally think this number will increase due to COVID, because many people work very hard in the sector and see how hard it is to deliver health and care. We also have a big problem with burnout. Recent studies show that 50% of healthcare professionals show signs of depression and burnout. There's even a report that is called the Suicide and Burnout Report from Medscape out there, which again highlights how severe this topic is. And last but not least, today we have a waiting list only in the UK of 6.1 million people. That means at the end of it, 1 out of 9 people in the UK gets not the treatment that's needed. And COVID basically accelerated this. Why do I tell you all of these doomsday facts? Because I truly believe that mankind always acts best when we are under pressure. I believe you heard already about tools, about scientific proofs that we have a lot of digital tools today that we can address these problems, but we are not doing it. So, as I said before, I believe we are at a tipping point where this will change. Why is that? Because several developments that are currently happening are helping us to address these challenges I just mentioned. One is what I call the data explosion. The speaker before me talked about big data. If you see the average amount of data points that a hospital produces each year is 50 petabytes. If you think how much this would be, I always make a comparison. If you would capture these 50 petabytes in the most undigital thing out there, which is a book, you would need roughly 8 million books, or 53 times the UK library, which is the largest one of our house at this point in time. So if you are searching as a doctor or as a caregiver, as a nurse, in these 8 billion books for this one sentence that would cure your patient, it's really impossible. And here comes the point. This 50 petabytes go normally directly some kind of system and is never used again. So 79% at the end will be in a silo system, not used during healthcare. These data points come from many exams, like from imaging, from labs, from pathology, but also from data like trackers and so forth. How powerful would this be if we bring this all together? So in a nutshell, the message here is we have data-rich healthcare organizations, but they are inside secure because they don't use all of the data points as they have at hand today. The second big development that's currently happening, and COVID was kind of a wake-up call here, because it showed how fragile our healthcare systems are, but also how fast we can accelerate innovation. And one of the positive impacts of this pandemic is that we finally understand that we have to invest in digital healthcare and in digitalization of our sector. And you see a lot of proof points on this slide. We see a lot of new digital care delivery models coming up. The biggest one that likely many of us used the last 2 years during COVID is telehealth. We have an investment of 17 or roughly 18 billion only in the last year. The consulting company McKinsey predicts if you basically would use and adopt digital health and digital healthcare tools, then you would add roughly 45 billion extra years of life to mankind, which means 6 years per person on average. This is just when we start to use the tools that we already have. The second development that's also driving this kind of digitization is that we suddenly have startups, we talked about the ecosystem before, and big techs, and also new, let's say, market companions entering healthcare. We in a big company like GE Healthcare, we still want to understand how we work with them, right? And we have to collaborate at some point in time. But you see that all of these new entrants also bring new business models. About digital therapeutics, mental health tech, clinical trial tech, all of these are areas where we saw a lot of needs in the last 4 months. And then a very important one, funding is not to be proposed. There are record investments in digital health happening in ecosystem. The funding skyrocketed in 2021 was roughly 50 billion last year. A lot of governments as well launched monetization programs to basically reshape and redefine the digital infrastructure of healthcare systems around the world. There are examples like the Hospital Future Act in Germany, the investments in France, in Italy, in Spain, in the US, all around the world. So money is flowing into the sector. This will help us at the end to accelerate digital transformation. So we have the data, we can have the use of it, and we also have this kind of new models behind that plus funding to make that work. So I truly believe we actually, with all the pressure we have, are living through exciting times for our sector. Who will be successful there? That's the question. We, GE Healthcare, believe that hospitals or healthcare organizations that are able to merge at the end, or to marry clinical medicine with data science, will be the ones that are successful going forward. There's a very clear point to that. One is that we have a very scarce resource, which is the healthcare profession. I mean, in the first slide I showed you this shortage in 2025 of 18 million people. These people right now dedicate a lot of time of extracting the data they need from several systems. So they are the connecting point that bring together all of these insights that they get from several systems to at the end treat their patient better. So right now, data management is part of their job, which it should not be, because they should basically care, right? They should work at the website. They should do the more value-added tasks. So why not let technology do the redundant tasks, the data mining, the automating certain kind of things, right? So that's what at the end data science will enable us to do, to help, for example, radiologists to see more or detect cancer earlier, helps them to automate more redundant tasks like the reporting. or giving them smart alarms. All of these are things that at the end technology can do today to help free up time that healthcare professionals can spend there where it's most needed, and the patient. If you combine these two science, or if you navigate these two sciences, which are clinical medicine and data science, you will be able to improve clinical outcomes. Right? Because you are able to detect earlier, you are able to detect better, you are able to see things you would not have seen, or you are able to compare in large data sets. The second thing that you are able to do is to take waste out of the system. This what I call drive operational efficiencies. Again, 20% of our system is waste. Technology can help you basically reduce it. Good example are scheduling algorithms that help you to detect no-shows, basically that don't show up. And this way you take efficiency, weight efficiency of the system, because scans have got to be postponed or repeated. And last but not least, with all of the measuring devices we have out there today, like your smartwatches, like your smartphone and so on, you can take monitoring out of source. You can generate data in real time and empower patients to become part of their own healthcare journey, or even of their basically prevention journey in the ideal case. But how at the end, that's the $1 billion question, how are you going to combine data science and clinical medicine? There are two critical levels that are going to make this marriage happen, or to bring these two sciences together. One is what we call an integrated platform approach, and the other one is the collaborative ecosystem or collaboration programs around that. Earlier we announced this year that we also have the intent to work on a data platform we call the digital health platform. These platforms have one very critical task. They should aggregate data from all systems that are out there, right? From the EMR, from existing digital archives, from radiology systems like PACS, from cardiology systems, but also from oncology, pathology, and so forth. So the first idea is to bring all of these data points together and to basically the integration to be able to work with this data. Then the second layer of all of these platforms at the end will be the kind of software layer. They develop artificial intelligence, for example, we do the diagnosis, annotation, and so forth. And the last part is how we will consume basically these algorithms or applications that are developed. This could either be in your existing IT infrastructure using technology like the cloud. But it could also be embedded in the device, where the algorithm sits on the device and basically is directly usable at the point of care. Or it could be somewhere in mobile tools going forward. So there are always, we talk about platforms, there are these three levels. One is the data aggregation level. The second one is the software development level. And the third one is at the end what I call the consumption level, or where you how you consume the output of the data. If we now go deeper into what a platform has to offer, platforms will only be successful if they achieve two things. One is they have to attract users, and secondly they have to create usage. That's very important. Every kind of platform business from other industries show exactly that you need users, the more the better, and that also these users have to make use of the technology you provide. In our sector, there are two critical users when it comes to digital transformation and digitalization. One is the healthcare professional or the healthcare provider. If you look into the value that a platform creates for healthcare providers or large hospital organizations, or also smaller ones, there are three key value propositions for them. The first one is they have to have access to the widest number of apps out there. And this cannot be just apps from one provider, correct? You want to create this best of breed thinking. So on the platform, the more apps are out there available from various market companions, the better it is, right? So think about this: if you go to your iPhone, you would not care who provides at the end the application. No, you just want that all of these applications are there. The second important point for healthcare providers is that they don't have to integrate each of these apps individually, right? So basically, there has to be one point of integration once, and you don't want to care about the cybersecurity aspects, the validation aspect of the application, and so forth. So you want to integrate this platform once into your existing IT infrastructure, and then you want to be able to use it. That's the second big advantage for a provider. The third one is at the end, the word vendor neutrality. All of our hospitals normally have existing infrastructures, and you want to avoid this lock-in effect to just work with a single vendor. You want to have an open API approach. You want to be able to basically consume the best apps and from basically various providers. And you want to basically also extend the existing IT infrastructure. This is only possible when the approach is vendor neutral. So these are the three main aspects that count in a platform for providers. The number of solutions, the more the better. The ease of integration, for one point integration, and then basically the vendor neutrality that I can extend my platform. The second big target are the people who develop applications. And they search in a platform first the most up-to-date tools to build, train, and also implement these algorithms into existing workflows. The very important one, they work on very specific things, but they have to also see that that's a wider approach. The second point is they need access to data. A lot of them have very well developed models, but they cannot train them because they don't have the clinical data points that are needed outside. These are normally hospital providers. So there's a big point. Providing these platforms, they need access to the high data points. And then, last but not least, they also have there are more than 360 AI algorithms providers out there, only in radiology. They need access to the market, right? And that's where a platform can help them. These kind of marketplaces where institutions can go and just select from various applications the one that they need. That's where the trend is heading towards. But again, I talked about the platform and about technology. So how do you create at the end the usage and how do you attract users? That's the second big part, which we call the digital health ecosystem, or the collaborative ecosystem that we created roughly 2 years ago. And you see various of the participants in this growing ecosystem at this point in time. One of the most important ones are startups. So we focus here on close to market ready startups, so not in the ideation phase, but startups that have already a solution. And they normally bring the solution, they bring the algorithm, they bring the ability into this ecosystem. Then, likely the most important participant of this ecosystem I'm talking about are the healthcare providers. Why is that? Because they bring a validated problem statement to this kind of development process. Many times the industry or the startups develop something and don't have the close feedback from healthcare providers, the exercise will fail. So basically, healthcare providers are very important in defining the existing problem statement, the solution should address, but they also have the clinical data and the clinical knowledge, and they work very closely together in the process to develop the kind of artificial intelligence. We distinguish two kinds of healthcare provider partners here. One we call consulting partners, and one we call validation partners. The consulting partners literally are in the day-to-day to develop the algorithms together with the ecosystem. They have weekly meetings, they have the problem statement, they bring the data, they bring also the skilled staff to this ecosystem. And then we have this consulting partner, the validation partners. Validation partners are the second one that then say the solution that we are working on is scalable. So this is what we distinguish in terms of healthcare providers. A third very important participant in our ecosystem are the tech providers. You see Amazon, you see Intel here, we work with more tech providers. They bring at the end the tech stack, things like cloud and so forth. They bring the technology, but they also bring the mentorship to fast, basically, develop the solution. An important point that we figured out when it comes to artificial intelligence is education. Normally the talk track around this
innovative technology called artificial intelligence is quite negative, right? It's normally you hear in the media, there are this notion that it's going to replace jobs. There is this notion that it can make errors and so forth. So what we believe is you need a more positive education around that. So we partner with various institutions like COSIA, like 8 Health and so forth, in a program called Hello AI, where we educate young professionals in the university, health professionals, what this technology is, how it can be used, and making them basically digital literate in artificial intelligence. We work together with startup scouting institutions like the Health Venture Lab, like the Startup Nation, because we figured out that it's not always easy to bring together large industry players like Amazon, like GE, like others, hospitals and startups, if you don't have this kind of intermediate company that helps you with that. And this you see on the left. Vira, it's an open innovation arm from Telefonica. They help us to run this program. And what do? We define with the hospitals basically problem statements. We scout for startups that should address that. And then we work in 8-month sprints to basically develop solutions that afterwards, if they are feasible, go basically into commercialization. And here you see the first cohort that ended with the beginning of this year, where we worked on 3 major problem statements. So the first one was basically to see how can we accelerate the adoption of algorithms in the imaging space. So how can we orchestrate them? We worked together with a startup here called Lucida Medical, which focuses on prostate cancer in MR, and with a startup called Radiobotics from the Nordics, which has its focus in X-ray and in bone fracture. And our hospital provider that we paired with them is from the NHS, the East Midland Imaging Network, a large network in the middle of England. And we worked together basically over a period of 8 months to see how we can get these 2 algorithms into their day-to-day operations. We still collaborate with all of these 3 players. A second problem statement was, how can we take waste out of the oncology pathway? Here we work together with a large pan-European chain called Allianz Medical, a private chain, and with a company called Sprite. Sprite is basically a scheduling tool and a chatbot. And with My Clinical Outcomes, they give us patient prompts, and we work together to see how can we basically eliminate no-shows with more information and streamline processes in the oncology care pathway. We also still collaborate with all 3 of those. And the last one was about democratizing cancer care. So what we did here is we worked together with 2 startups. One startup called Legit Health, and with 2 healthcare providers, one private one, which is Ribera Salud and the University of Manchester, to see how we can basically help the patient to better get involved in the cancer care pathway. This one is the 3rd problem statement we worked on. We are still very much seeing how we bring this solution into the market, but here you got a flavor of how at the end this ecosystem is coming together as we speak. To wrap up, look, 4 key points I want to leave you with. The first one is, as I said before, we have to basically go into this platform approach to unlock the data, make sense out of these data points, and then collaborate with a wider ecosystem to combine clinical medicine with data science. 2 key levers I talked about to make this marriage happen. One is basically digital health platforms with the 3 levers I talked about. And the other one are these collaborative ecosystem acceleration programs. I also gave you a flavor of that in the last minutes. This platform will basically give you an advantage if you are basically able to bring as many users and applications on the platform fast. If you make it easy to integrate them with a one-time integration into existing healthcare IT environments, and if you keep vendor neutrality, that basically you can also make this a sustainable effort. And then, last but not least, these these startup acceleration and customer collaboration program work if you get the right problem statement to work on. This comes at the end from the healthcare provider. And then if you work together as an ecosystem and quickly, in an agile way, try to validate the solution and make it scalable. And that's all from my side. I hope you enjoyed the talk. Feel free to contact me afterwards if you have questions or if you want to continue discussions. I always value a good conversation about digital health. Thank you.
Future Healthcare İstanbul, yarın için bir arada.